will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. Write all your answers in the listening question booklet. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to section 1 of your question booklet. Section 1. You will hear a conversation between a student and someone at an accommodation agency. First, look at questions 1 and 2. For each of the questions, 3 alternatives are given. Decide which of the alternatives, A, B, or C, best fits what you hear on the tape, and circle the appropriate letter. You will see that there is an example which has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to the example will be played first.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm looking for a place to rent near the university.
What are you after? A house? A flat? A room?
Well, preferably a house if that's possible. There are 3 of us looking all together. We thought we might share if we could find something suitable.
The student says he wants to rent a house, so A has been circled. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Now listen carefully and answer questions 1 and 2.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm looking for a place to rent near the university.
What are you after? A house? A flat? A room?
Well, preferably a house if that's possible. There are 3 of us looking all together. We thought we might share if we could find something suitable.
So, something near the university?
Yes, if that's at all possible. We're all students, so it'd be good if we could find something within walking distance of the campus. None of us has a car and we don't want to have to take public transport.
Yeah, well, everybody wants that, of course.
Yeah, I suppose they do.
Are you in your first year?
No, I've been here a year already. Last year we all lived in a hall of residence. That was really great. Even the food wasn't too bad. We had a lot of fun there, but in the second year they kick you out into the real world.
You now have a short time to look at questions 3 to 10. As you listen to the rest of the conversation, fill in the numbered spaces 3 to 6 in the table and answer questions 7 to 10 by circling the appropriate letters.
Okay, so let me have a look and see what we've got. Well, there's a 2-bedroom house in Newtown which is quite cheap.
Oh, that'd be good because it's very near the university. But if we all want our own rooms, it isn't really big enough.
Too small. Give that one a miss?
Yeah, I think so. Got anything else?
What about this? 3-bedroom flat close to the university. It's $400 a week.
Oh, that's too expensive.
All right. Well, here's something that might interest you. It's a 3-bedroom house with garden.
Not bothered about the garden, but where is it?
Near the airport.
That's miles from the university.
Yes, it is quite far, but it's reasonably priced at $250 a week. Why don't you go and have a look?
Oh, all right, we will. Can I have the address?
Right. Well, it's at 14A Station Road, Botany.
Is anyone living there at the moment?
No, it's vacant.
And does it have any furniture?
Well, it says here, that it's partially furnished.
What does that mean exactly?
Well, there's a kitchen table and chairs, 2 single beds, a double bed, 2 wardrobes, a kitchen cooker, and a washing machine. Not bad, really, for the money.
Is there a fridge?
It doesn't mention it here. I can let you have the key, and you can pop round and see for yourself.
Right, thanks. We'll do that.
Hello, you're back. How did you find the house?
Well, not bad. It's certainly large enough, and there's quite a big garden. But it's completely overgrown. You can hardly get out the back door because the grass is so high. We'd have to have it tidied up a bit before we moved in.
Okay.
The kitchen is fine, but there's an awful smell throughout the house.
Well, the place hasn't been occupied for a couple of months, so that's probably why it's a bit musty. It'll be fine when you open up the windows and let some fresh air in.
Yeah, well, I think the landlord ought to pay to clean the carpets at least.
I can put that to him, though I'm not sure whether he'll agree. We can but ask.
Okay. Well, if he does, we'd probably be interested.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Section 2.
You're going to hear a student, Ben, talking to 2 other students and his tutor in a tutorial.
First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
Oh, OK, come on in. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
Hello, Mark, Sally. Now, let's get going, shall we? Because we've got a lot of ground to cover this afternoon. It's Ben's turn to give his tutorial paper today. But remember, we do encourage questions from the rest of you, so do try to join in and ask questions.
OK.
Now, I believe Ben's going to talk to us today about the exploration of the Red Planet.
That's right. I'm going to be looking at the recent landing by the Americans of a spacecraft on the planet Mars, and in particular focusing on the small rover robot.
Is that the little robot that functions as a geologist?
Yes, that's right. It's called a rover, like a Land Rover, I suppose, and it can detect the geological composition of the ground it's standing on, so, yes, it's a sort of geologist. It's actually quite amazing.
I heard it described as being like a microwave oven on wheels.
Yeah. Well, from an appearance point of view, that's a fair description. I've photocopied a picture of it for you so that you can keep this for reference and make some notes, and I'll just hand that out now.
Oh, thanks.
Thanks. Wow. You'd actually expect it to look more space-age than this, wouldn't you? Like, more sophisticated?
OK, well, as you can see, it's quite small. It actually only weighs 16.5 kilograms.
Right. And what kind of speed is it capable of, Ben?
Well, I suppose that depends on the terrain. But I understand that it has a top speed of 2.4 kilometres an hour, which isn't very fast, really.
And can you tell us how it works? Explain some of these things we can see here.
Well, first of all, on the top it's fitted with solar panels. It runs on solar energy, of course.
Does that mean it can't work at night?
Yes, indeed it does. I guess it sleeps at night. So, you have the solar panels on the top, and underneath, this is the part known as the warm box.
What's the purpose of that?
Well, at night, the temperatures on Mars can go below 100 degrees, so the warm box is designed to protect the electronics from the extreme cold. It's also fitted with 2 cameras on the front.
OK. And what about its wheels?
It's got 6 aluminium wheels, each 13 centimetres in diameter. Each one has its own motor, so it's individually powered, which allows the vehicle to turn on the spot if necessary. And, as you know, aluminium is very light.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 18 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
And how is it steered?
Good question. It's steered using virtual reality goggles, worn by someone back on Earth, believe it or not. Though, because the robot can't be manipulated in real time, it can't be steered in real time either.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, you see, it takes more than 11 minutes for a radio signal to travel from command headquarters in California to Mars, and another 11 minutes for the answer to come back.
You mean there's a time delay?
Yes, exactly. And the time delay, or time lag, means it can't be steered directly from Earth. So what they do is this. They photograph the area around the rover, and the scientists will decide where they want the rover to go.
In other words, they'll plot a course for the rover.
Exactly.
OK, Ben, that's very interesting. Now, can you tell us anything about this space mission itself, and why Mars?
Well, people have been fascinated by Mars for a long time, and it's generally believed that Mars is the only other planet in the solar system to have abundant water.
Is it possible that people might one day be able to live on Mars?
Well, of course, there's a lot of work to be done yet, but theoretically, I can't see why not.
Thanks, Ben. That was very interesting.
Section 3.
A student wants to register for a conference. Listen to the conversation between the student and the woman and answer the questions.
First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24. Now, listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Good morning. Can I help you?
Yes. Is this where we register for the Beyond 2000 conference?
Yes. What's your name and I'll get your conference bag.
Well, I haven't actually registered yet. I was told I'd be able to register today, so I hope that's okay. I've just arrived in Melbourne.
That should be fine if you're a student. I'll need to take your details though. So, can I have your full name?
Yes, sure. It's Melanie Mitchell.
Is that Mitchell?
Yes, that's right. And that's Ms., not Miss.
OK, fair enough. And what's your address, Melanie?
I live in student accommodation at Sydney University, so my address there is Room 66, Women's College, Newtown.
OK. And which faculty are you studying in?
I'm in the Faculty of Education. I'm doing a Master's in Primary School Teaching.
Right. And may I see your student card because I need to verify that you're a current student?
Yes, sure. Here it is. My number is 994578ED.
The woman asks the student some more questions about the conference.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
OK. Now, do you want to attend all 3 days? The conference runs from Thursday to Saturday.
Yes, I think so, if I can afford it. What does it cost?
Well, you're eligible for a student discount, which makes it $15 for a day registration or $40 for the 3 days, though it is possible to register for half a day only.
I'll register for all 3 days, please.
Good. Now, will you be requiring accommodation while you're here in Melbourne?
Yes, I suppose I will. What's available?
Well, we have several levels of accommodation. You can share a room with another student for $25 a night. Or you can have your own room but share the bathroom. I believe it's just down the corridor. That's $45.
Right.
Or you can have a single room with your own bathroom.
I don't mind sharing a room. On second thoughts, yes, I do. I'll have my own room, but I'll share the bathroom.
Right. Now, the conference fee does not include meals, though you do get tea and coffee in the breaks. Shall I put you down for lunch? That's an extra $10 a day. And there's the conference dinner on Friday night, which is $25. Oh, and what about breakfast?
Hang on a minute. It's all starting to sound rather expensive. I'll have the lunch, but not the dinner or breakfast, if that's okay.
Perfectly okay. Now, a couple of other things. There are a number of special interest groups organised. They're known as SIGs, and you're asked to nominate your preference. They'll take place on the Friday afternoon and Saturday morning, but they're filling up quickly, which is why you need to nominate now.
Right. What are the SIGs?
Well, there are 6 altogether. Let's see. On Friday you have a choice between computers in education or teaching reading skills. Or a session on catering for the gifted child.
Oh, they all sound interesting. But technology in the classroom is really my area of interest, rather than reading. So I'll go for that. I can probably read up on the gifted child topic myself.
Right. And then the Saturday options are a session on cultural differences, or there's music in the primary curriculum, or you could go to the one on gender issues in the classroom.
Wow! Can I go to them all? They all sound fascinating.
Afraid not.
Well, I'm really interested in how boys and girls behave differently, even when they are very young, so I'd better opt for the 3rd session, even though the cultural differences SIG is probably really interesting too.
Right.
And the music option would be interesting.
And how would you like to pay? We accept most credit cards or bank cheques, but not personal cheques, I'm afraid. Been caught out too often before. And cash, of course. We never say no to cash.
I'll have to put it on my card because I don't have enough cash on me right now.
That's fine. Enjoy your time here with us in Melbourne.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Section 4. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello, Grayson's Adventure Days. How can I help you?
Oh, good morning.
I want to book an activity day as a birthday present for my father. So could you give me an idea of the sorts of things you organise, please?
What a great present. Do you want the activity to take place in a particular location?
No, anywhere in the country would be okay.
Right. Well, how about bungee jumping? That's our most popular activity.
Uh-huh.
After a safety briefing, you're securely fastened to the correct bungee rope for your weight. Then the crane takes you up to a height of 50 metres in a cage, and you jump from it.
You make it sound so easy.
In fact, some people change their minds at the last moment. But for the really brave, you can also book our special, which is one normal bungee jump and then a backwards one. It's quite an experience.
I can imagine. Is it available every day?
We do bungee jumping all year round on over 120 dates and in various locations. But you should try to book about 4 weeks in advance if possible, as it's very popular.
OK. And are there any age restrictions? It'll be my father's 50th birthday, so I hope he isn't too old.
No, he certainly isn't too old, but we'll require a certificate from a doctor to confirm that he's in good health.
Oh, he's very fit, so that won't be a problem. How much is it?
It costs £57 per person for the standard jump and £97 for the special.
Right. Now, I've heard of something called zorbing. Do you do that too?
Yes, we do. That's another very popular activity.
What exactly is it?
Well, you're securely attached in the centre of a zorb, either alone or with another person. A zorb is over 3 metres high and it consists of one ball inside another, both made of clear plastic so you can see out through them.
And what happens next?
You roll down a hill at speeds of up to 50 kilometres an hour. You can also choose the hydrozorb experience, where 25 litres of water is thrown inside with you, and you aren't attached, so you slide around in the water while you're rolling.
Wow, I'm sure my father would enjoy that. What about the dates?
The zorb rides take place between April and October, but just at weekends.
Are there any restrictions? I mean, for height or weight?
Your father needs to be at least 160 centimetres tall and weigh no more than 110 kilos.
Oh, that's fine. How much does it cost?
Zorbing is £50 per person.
And is hydrozorbing the same price?
No, that's £65.
Right. I'd better give my father details of both the bungee jumping and zorbing and let him choose, and then I'll get back to you.
Fine. We tend to get fully booked, especially at this time of year, so you ought to book well in advance.
OK, I'll get back to you in the next few days. Thanks very much for your help.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.